Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, in whichever time zone you are. Welcome to my presentation for the AOCS annual meeting with the title Cationic Inulin, the next generation ingredient for 2-in-1 laundry detergents. My name is Robert Nolles and I'm excited to introduce our cationic biopolymer to you today and to highlight its benefits in fabric care. Here is the outline of today's talk. First, I will briefly introduce Cosun Biobased Products to you and will provide some more details about our bio-based functional ingredients. Then we'll dive into Cationic Inulin, its chemistry and profile, followed by some quick demos and its applications. After that, I will touch on the basic functionalities in relation to fabric softening and I will share our findings in 2-in-1 formulations. Before sending you off, I will review some key takeaways, and for those of you who make it all the way to the end, I will reward you with some breaking news. Alright, it's time now to briefly introduce Cosun Biobased Products. For those of you who are unfamiliar with us, Cosun Biobased Products was founded 1 decade ago as a startup under the Royal Cosun Group. Royal Cosun is a $2 billion agro-food cooperative with headquarters in the Netherlands. The majority of the companies within the Royal Cosun Group process all kinds of crops in order to obtain food ingredients. Cosun Biobased Products, however, focuses on the valorization of agricultural side streams through biorefining and functionalization. Hence, we consider ourselves a challenger of the existing chemical industry and keep on expanding our portfolio of bio-based functional ingredients, mainly for the home, fabric and personal care markets. A couple of reasons why we have been successful establishing ourselves as a supplier over the last 10 years. First of all, we have a solid parent company with a long-term vision. And this is required in order to bring new ingredients to the market. Besides that, as a company we're backward integrated all the way to the farming industry in Western Europe, which results in security of supply of raw materials. Furthermore, we have been successful in scaling up from idea to project to actual commercial production. Today we operate a couple of manufacturing lines and we're planning a few more in the future. And last but not least, we believe in close collaboration throughout the value chain, and in particular with customers, whose needs we try to understand better and better every day. So, as Cosun Biobased Products, we are well underway building a portfolio of functional ingredients, mainly for the home, fabric and personal care markets. And we are progressing steadily. Initially, we developed a couple of inulin derivatives using off-spec inulin from one of our sister companies. For those of you unfamiliar with inulin, inulin is the natural plant reserve of chicory and is being used by the food industry as well as the personal care industry as a prebiotic ingredient. Currently, Cosun Biobased Products manufactures 2 types of inulin derivatives, one being an anionic version called carboxymethyl inulin, also known as CMI or carboxyline. The other one being a cationic version which is sold under the brand name Quaten and will be discussed in more detail later. The main purpose for CMI in home and fabric care is as an anti-redeposition aid in laundry detergent or as an anti-filming, anti-spotting aid in auto dish detergents. Besides inulin derivatives, we are also refining sugar beet pulp, which is the remaining biomass after sugar has been extracted from a sugar beet. This is an overview on the various ingredients that can be obtained from sugar beet pulp, either directly or indirectly. The first one is powdered sugar beet pulp. It is sold under the brand name Betabind and is being used as an anti-caking agent in powder detergent premixes. The microcellulosic fibers, which are sold under the brand name Betafib, are amongst others being used as a suspending aid for end caps as well as a rheology modifier for liquid laundry detergents. Both ingredients are commercially available. The 2 organic acids, galacturonic acid and galacteric acid, are still in development or in scale-up phase, hence pre-commercial. These acids serve a purpose as intermediates for biosurfactants as well as chemical building blocks. Now, let's dive into cationic inulin as an ingredient for fabric care. First, I start with the chemistry. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the inulin molecule. It basically is a natural biopolymer that consists of a chain of fructose with an end-capped glucose. The typical average degree of polymerization of inulin is 10. We use CHPT to add cationic functionality to this inulin backbone. During the synthesis of cationic inulin, we can change the ratio between polymer and reagent. And that way we can steer the degree of substitution, which is abbreviated by DS. We typically manufacture 3 different types of cationic inulin. One with a low DS, one with a medium DS, and one with a high DS. Moreover, during the process, we can also decide on different levels of purification to determine the final grades. Let's summarize a couple of properties of the molecule synthesized. Firstly, it is highly water-soluble. Furthermore, cationic inulin has a relative low molecular weight, which is the result of the relative short backbone used. And finally, cationic inulin shows good biodegradability due to the fact that we start from inulin, which is readily biodegradable by itself. However, since functionalization decreases the degradation speed, cationic inulins are not readily biodegradable, yet most of the grades are inherently biodegradable. Let's compare cationic inulin with some other commonly used cationic biopolymers. In this part of the table, the 3 different types of cationic inulin are listed. The degrees of substitution translate into corresponding charge densities, and for the cationic inulins, this ranges roughly from 1.5 to 5.5 milliequivalent per gram. When the DS and charge density of cationic inulin are compared with cationic guar and cationic cellulose or PQ10, it is easy to notice that the cationic charge density is much higher for cationic inulin in general. Even cationic inulin with a low DS is already more charged than cationic guar and cationic cellulose. We are talking about very potent molecules. When looking at the other differences, a few things stand out. Since the molecular weight of cationic inulin is low, the viscosity is also low. In other words, it doesn't thicken. The molecular weight of cationic inulin is in the range of 3 to 5,000 grams per mole, whereas cationic cellulose and cationic guar typically sit in the range of 100,000 to the millions. Furthermore, the transmittance of cationic inulin solutions is high, allowing for very transparent formulations. And last but not least, cationic inulins are not harmful for the aquatic lives, they are non-irritant and considered safe. Now, let's look at the total profile for cationic inulin. The product is being manufactured in Europe and is supplied as a 40% active product in water. It's preservative-free and most of the grades are inherently biodegradable, except for the grade with the highest DS. The renewable carbon content can be as high as approximately 80%, and cationic inulin is actually very easy to work with. It's suitable for cold processing and doesn't require pH adjustment. In the next slide, I will show a couple of demos. Moreover, it's compatible, till a certain extent, with a wide range of surfactants, including anionics, non-ionics, and amphoterics. To summarize, cationic inulin is a more sustainable alternative to PQs, cationic guars, and ester quats, and it's easy to use. I did mention how convenient cationic inulin is for formulators. This first demo will show the difference between cationic guar and cationic inulin. So, in the left beaker, cationic guar is added to the water. Afterwards, the pH will be adjusted in order to allow the guar to hydrate properly. Then, in the right beaker, cationic inulin is added to the water. And remember, cationic inulin comes as a 40% active liquid. Now, in both beakers, green colorant is being added to visually demonstrate the differences. It becomes clear that it is much easier to work with cationic inulin and that the final solution is nice and transparent. Then, the comparison between PQ10 and cationic inulin. In this experiment, the colorant was already added to the concentrated product. Both actives are simultaneously added to the water phase. The difference in behavior is very obvious. One can imagine how much more effort it takes to homogeneously distribute PQ10 into the water phase in comparison to cationic inulin. In conclusion, cationic inulin is very easy to work with, not just in the lab, but more importantly, also in production. Just a few quick words on the potential application areas for cationic inulin. In home and fabric care, the obvious areas of application are hard surface cleaning and fabric conditioning. But, perhaps less expected, cationic inulin has proven to be very efficient in reducing spotting on dishes, so automatic dishwashing is also an area of application. Today, however, we will continue to focus on the benefits in a 2-in-1 laundry detergent. In order to complete the picture, here is an overview on the application areas within the personal care and cosmetic space for cationic inulin. It is a hair conditioning agent which is very suitable for 2-in-1 shampoo conditioners. In addition, it serves as a conditioning agent in various skincare products as well as hand soaps. And every day we learn more about the unique opportunities with this ingredient, and we would love to work with you finding a home for cationic inulin in your projects. Alright, now let's shift gears. In this experiment, we are investigating the ability of a cationic polymer surfactant coacervate to co-deposit with emulsified silicone oil droplets onto a hydrophilic surface upon rinsing. The buildup on the surface was measured using an ellipsometer. During the experiment, it was found that the cationic inulins responded better with a lower concentration of anionic surfactant, in this case 3 to 5 millimolar SDS. Moreover, cationic inulin 680 in particular, which is the medium charged grade, shows a high peak, meaning a high level of deposition. The large drop after the peak was reached indicates that a significant amount of the coacervate is rinsed off, probably as a result of the solubility of cationic inulin. The question remains, what is left behind? And how does this soften fabric, for instance? As can be seen in the graph on the far right hand, the behavior of a cationic cellulose SDS coacervate is completely different. In addition, a 2 to 3 times higher concentration of SDS is required to obtain a clear effect. So, these are very valuable scientific results, but we will have to put our new ingredient to the actual test. In order to get a better understanding what cationic inulin can do as a fabric softener, it was post-dose in a commercial laundry detergent. After washing towels with the detergent, with and without cationic inulin, a panel of 30 individuals determined the softness and scored the towels, basically from better to worse or equal. Different versions of cationic inulin, ranging from a degree of substitution of 0.35 to 0.78, were put into the test. In the graph, it can be clearly seen that, particularly for the lowest DS grades, 18 out of 30 panelists scored the sample, which is the detergent plus cationic polymer, to be better. Interestingly enough, this number drops with a higher DS, and in fact for the cationic polymer with the highest DS, the results have turned into the opposite, the majority of the panelists preferred the reference over the sample. These results are indicative and point towards lower to medium degrees of substitution. Time to go one level deeper. For the next step, a detergent formulation based on Tide with a touch of downy was used to test the various cationic polymers. This table shows the details. Earlier work, which is not covered in today's presentation, already suggested that the use levels of cationic inulin could be reduced as a result of the high charge density of the ingredient. Hence, the cationic inulins were dosed at a level of 0.1% as is only, whereas cationic guar and PQ10 were dosed at double the level, 0.2%. The test used to evaluate the detergent is ASTM D5237-14. The softening was scored by 10 trained panelists and static reduction was measured using a Simco electrostatic locator. The actual benchmark in the test was, not surprisingly, Tide with a touch of downy. Let's have a look at the softening results. All the results in this graph are compared with the benchmark, which was set at 100%. At the top of the graph you can see the blank with a softening score of only 77%. The impact on softening of the various cationic polymers is clear. Cationic guar, for instance, reaches a score of 89%. In this test, PQ10 reached the highest score, just over the benchmark. However, please keep in mind that the dose level for PQ10 was 0.2%. The different cationic inulins were scored from 82 to 99%, with the medium DS grade, the 680, being the best of the three basic grades. In general, it can be concluded that cationic inulin shows a good softening effect at very low dose levels. Moreover, there is a clear tendency towards higher DS for better softening. And last but not least, the best softening result was obtained with a blend of cationic inulin with a medium and a high DS, both at a level of 0.05% only. So how about static reduction? In this graph, the level of the blank was set to 0% in order to compare the different formulations. Blue bars mean static buildup, whereas orange bars indicate reduction. A bit unexpected perhaps, but seen in multiple tests is the significant buildup with the benchmark. And also cationic guar showed buildup rather than reduction. In fact, the cationic inulin showed the best reduction, with the grade with the highest DS, the 1280, reaching the highest level. Since static reduction tests are complicated and pretty sensitive, we prefer to report tendencies from this part of the test, rather than conclusions. And some of those tendencies are that a higher DS benefits the static reduction effect for cationic inulin. And moreover, the best static reduction performance was obtained with a cationic inulin with a DS of 1.28. Now, we've almost reached the end of this presentation, so it's time to review some of the key takeaways. First of all, the use of cationic inulin in 2-in-1 laundry detergent results in a high performance, meaning excellent softening for a 2-in-1 product and able to reduce static. And you can choose from 3 grades for optimal performance. Secondly, cationic inulin is very convenient to work with, as was shown in the demos. Moreover, it's highly compatible. And last but not least, from a sustainability point of view, cationic inulin meets a lot of the requirements. Its RCI is up to 80% and most of the grades are inherently biodegradable. And finally, here is the breaking news. As of July 2nd, we will not only get a new name, but also a new image and a new website. So please check us out on www.cosunbiobased.com and let us know what you think. And with that, I've reached the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening in today, and please feel free to reach out to us anytime. And remember, visit our new website soon. Bye now.